Have you ever stood at your kitchen sink, hands wrist deep in suds, when a sudden knowing drops into your belly and flips your day on its head? Minute ago you were just minding the dishes, and now you're certain that the Morrigan wants ... something. But what? I'm Lora O'Brien, Irish Dree, long-time caretaker of her cave at Cóir, and the one who has asked, is that really her, more times than I can count over the last 20 odd years. So today we're diving right into the heartbeat of right relationship, Cóir Choibhnis. So you can stop guessing, start living, and build a spirituality that actually supports you. So first I want to talk about the river covenant, the meeting of the Dagda and the Morrigan at the river Unshin. This is from Cóir Choibhnis, the second battle of Moitura. And I'm going to read here from Morgan Daimler's excellent translation. So definitely look up their full English translation of Cóir Choibhnis, because it gives the Rosk poetry, which most of the translations that you're going to find online don't. So, before the second battle of Moitura, the Dagda meets the Morrigan at the river Unshin in County Sligo. I'm just going to read you a little bit from it. The Dagda had a house at Glenetchin in the north. The Dagda was to meet a woman on a day, yearly, about Samhain of the battle at Glenetchin. The Unish, or Unshin, of Connacht called by the south. The woman was at the Unshin of Corand, washing her genitals, one of her 2 feet by Aloe Eche, this is Echanach, by water at the south, her other by Luscondov, the water at the north. 9 plaits of hair undone upon her head. The Dagda spoke to her, and they made a union. Lying down of the married couple was the name of that place from then. She is the Morrigan, the woman mentioned particularly here. Afterwards, she commanded the Dagda to strip his land, that is, Macsketna, against the Fomorians, and told the Dagda to call together the Aestána of Ireland to meet at the ford of Unshin, and she would go to Sketna and injure with magic the king of the Fomorians, that is, Indach Mac de Downan is his name. And she would take the blood of his heart and kidneys of his battle ardour from him. Because of that, she would give to the gathered hosts the blood in her 2 palms, striking, groaning, warlike, by the ford of Unshin. Ford of Utter Destruction was its name afterwards, because of the magical injury done to the king. Now, I know when you're listening to a translation of a very old mythological text or mystical text, it can be confusing because it's not in our dialect as such of English that we might be more used to in a contemporary setting. One of the things that I've done at the Morrigan Academy is to give a full reading of Cóir Choibhnis with my commentary, broken up into 3 little sessions per week over a 4-week period. So you can go and access that on the courses page at the Morrigan Academy if you would like to deep dive into that text a little bit more with my guidance. But for today, I think it's really interesting that the Dagda is going to the Morrigan for her advice and her guidance and her support before this major battle that the Tuatha Dé Danann are going to be engaging with. And she brings her prophecy, she tells him what to do, she also brings her battle strategy, and, she offers practical help as well with the whole blood and kidneys thing. The exchange here seals the tribe's victory, the Tuatha Dé Danann's victory, and the land's renewal. So I want you to really notice the pattern that's here. Respect comes first. He approaches her, he doesn't demand. Now, this is a meeting of a married couple. This is the bed of the couple. But he still doesn't come with any entitlement to this. And it's an exchange, not an extraction. So they both give, they both gain. It is a meeting of mutual benefit. And action follows omen. They leave the fort and they do the work. This is, I believe, our earliest template for right relationship. So what does this actually mean? I know that there are different versions of this in different cultures, but of course I'm talking from an Irish perspective. You will find versions of this in many other native, indigenous and tribal cultures, but of course we're going to focus on the Irish here, our native and indigenous and tribal culture. So what Cóir Choibhnis means? Cóir is justice, proper share, fair provision. Choibhnis is relationship, kin affinity, and together they form right relationship, an ethical, reciprocal, balanced view that ties the land, the people and the deity. It's very, very connected to sovereignty, to the relationship between this world and the other world, to the relationship between the people and their deities, the people and their rulers, and the tribes and the deities. Tribes in general, not just individual people, as well as the sovereign leaders and their relationship to the supernatural, to the deity, to the other world. All of those are really important elements that are contained in this Cóir Choibhnis, and it widens the lens to every relationship in your life, including your relationship with your own environment, your surroundings, your land that you walk on every day, the spiritual guardians of trees and plants and allies that are around you every day, the animals that you live with, as well as relationships with people, even with your home environment, and relationships with yourself. So right relationship is not like a mushy kind of niceness, it's sovereignty in action. And in the old tales, the rulers who stray from it, like Bress or Conor MacNessa, they lose crops, they lose cattle, they lose their thrones when Gau Flaha, the sovereign's lie, kicks back. So ask yourself now, where in your life is justice and rightness out of balance? Where are you not getting or giving your proper share, fair provision? Those are really, really important questions that you need to consider. Again, in the context of all your relationships, not just, say, your romantic relationship or your relationship with your children or the more obvious ones. Where are you taking without returning? And where are you promising but not delivering? And I just want to really, really highlight that the Morrigan notices these gaps, and addressing the imbalances, the injustice in you, around you and through you is absolutely crucial to working with this goddess. So I'm going to give you a little practical just alignment ritual. It won't take you long, just a few minutes. You can do it right now. First we're going to ground and greet. So stand or sit with your feet planted on the ground. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6. And as you're breathing, as deeply as you can, whisper, Morrigan, I stand willing to work in Cóir Choibhnis today. And then there's the offer and the ask. So out loud or to yourself, you can say, I offer one clear action. Pick one. Have it ready to go. So I offer X. Guide me towards the next right step. Now keep it ordinary, replying to a difficult email, donating to a local cause, finishing the laundry that you've ignored. I know I have laundry that I've ignored. And then you're going to listen. So just take a minute in stillness or a few minutes in free writing. Capture any image, phrase, body tug, feeling, sensation. Don't judge it, just record it. as you listen, as you are open to it. And then make a plan. So look at your notes. Circle one actionable item from your notes, whether you've written them down or you've mentally made notes. Please write stuff down if you can, whether it's digitally or analog. It really helps. But I want you to take one action, a specific action, and schedule it today. Sovereignty actually lives on the calendar. And I know that keeping to routine and consistency is difficult for many of us, including those of us who are on the neurodivergent spectrum particularly. Well, depends on which side of it you're on. Sometimes routine is all you have or want, right? But if you're more towards the ADHD side of things, then routine can be very difficult. Consistency can be very difficult. So make it small, make it achievable, make it a quick win that you can do. And that's your daily. So just do it for 7 consecutive days. And honestly, even if you can't do it every day, if you miss one day, don't miss a second day, right? You are training by doing these tiny, tiny practices, these small commitments, these easy wins. You are training your spiritual muscle memory. So small reps, big results, just like going to the gym for the first time. And then your everyday sovereignty then is really important. So in the morning, before you're scrolling on your phone, please, please, please speak your daily offering while the kettle boils, or, when you place your feet on the ground, or when you go to the toilet for the first time, or while you're brushing your teeth, or whatever you're doing first thing in the morning. Please speak your daily offering there, your action that you're committing to. Mid-shift, lunchtime, whatever, step away from the computer, take a breath and ask, am I in right balance with this task? Am I in the right place? Am I in right relationship to be able to achieve this today? And if not, why? How can you shift that? How can you change that towards that rightness? And then in the evening, maybe take a note of one thing that you've received. So gratitude, insight, a feckin' parking space, whatever it is, right? And what you gave back. So again, that's that reciprocity of what I've received and what I have given. That's really important for training the right relationship side of this. I had a student in last year's intensive who put it beautifully. They said, once I started tiny daily offers, the constant self-doubt eased off. I stopped waiting for big signs and just lived the relationship. This is the kind of spiritual support that is available to us all. Right relationship becomes less about crows on fence posts and more about integrity in school run traffic, right? Like it is the spiritual in the mundane. So 3 common pitfalls that you might come across would be endless research. I need to know more before I can do anything. And that's from the fear of making a mistake. So again, just course correct, act on one source-based lesson today. Do something today. If it's not from this podcast, try one of the other podcasts. There's little practical bits in all of these pretty much. Another common pitfall would be like one-way prayers. So treating the goddess like tech support, or, a statue that you take down off a shelf when you want XYZ, and if you want something different, there's a different statue. And that's not what relationship is about. So again, we want to be looking for that reciprocity. We want to be building up this relationship over time, and it starts with you. So certainly before you make any requests, or if you need to make a request, make sure to pair it with a concrete gift or offering, such as time, skill, coin, whatever it is that you think will be. It could be donating to a cause, it could be buying her some nice whiskey, it could be making an offering, a devotional, a prayer. All of those things are gifts to the goddess, right? So pick something and make sure that you're doing that more than you're asking for for requests or support. And then another common pitfall would be like spiritual isolation. So you have no feedback loop. You've nobody who gets this. You've no one who understands where you're at, where you're coming from, or certainly no one who is going through the same or similar things. Even if you know people who are followers of the Morrigan, they're, following some dark goddess bullshit and, American groups and cosplay and whatever, and it just doesn't feel real or right, core, right relationship to you. Might do to them. I'm not judging anybody else's path, but if you don't have people in your life, it is really important to be able to share wins and wobbles in a trusted community. So I do encourage you to join the community at the Morrigan Academy if possible. It is off Facebook, it's private, there's a tiny little barrier to entry, so we get a good quality of person in there, and it's just space that I've created, and we hold for people to be able to share those wins and those wobbles and build that trust with people who are doing the same work as you, right? Now, we'll unpack some more blockages and issues in our free workshop, but you can start shifting them now. So what is that free workshop you're mentioning, Lora? Well, I'll tell you what it is. So if you're ready for some practical fixes and live support with me, you can join me for How to Stop Misreading the Mórrígan. There are multiple dates coming up. The first one is tomorrow, as per the date of this podcast. So this goes out on a Thursday. The first one runs on Friday, and they are totally free. There is a surprise resource if you stay to the end, a little download for you, and you can register at morrigan.academy/reg or EG. Simple. And please remember that our 6-month intensive program opens just once a year. It's opening at the start of June. And if you know that you need structured guidance and a mehel or community, please keep your ears pricked, your eyes open, because the window of enrollment will be there and gone before you know it, and you'll be on the waiting list for June 2026. So if you want more information about it, you know that you're ready for the intensive, or you're not sure about it and you want to check it out, then make sure you're watching your emails if you are joined at the Morrigan Academy, and if not, please do join our mailing list so that you will get the emails. So to finish up now today, what I want you to really, really understand is that the Morrigan doesn't want or need perfect devotees. She wants, how do I put this? She wants allies who act with courage and fairness. So light the candle, name your offer, your offering, and step into the weave of Cóir Choibhnis, right relationship. Just one day, one breath, one just action at a time. You got this. So until next time, honour the lore, respect the Morrigan, and slán go fóill. I will see you in the next podcast, or at the free workshop, morrigan.academy/reg. Slán.